Cool.
Hey, it's Ashley, and we are live on Western Fashion behind the scenes. And today we have a very special guest that I am excited about. Her name is Emily Gleason, and she's better known as the Camo Cowgirl. She has been full time social media manager and content creator since 2020. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome, Emily.
Hi there. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm super excited.
You're welcome. What's fun is we've never met, right? We've never met in person and we've never met online, right? And it's really fun because a lot of women don't know how to try to get to know each other. So they're trying to figure out, like, what do you do to get to know someone? Well, you simply just say, hey, let's have a Zoom meeting and get to know each other. I've turned mine into podcasts because I think that you have something to share and that the world needs to hear your voice. So thanks for being on today. How did you get started on your social media journey? What were you doing before that?
Yeah, absolutely. So before I got into social media, which I actually started social media right out of college, I graduated at the end of 2019 with my bachelor's in kinesiology. While I was looking for a job in that career path, I started doing my own social media thing, freelance, working with brands, started getting into Western fashion modeling with some Western photographers. And so I was originally on the medical career path. I actually was working in a hospital for a little bit and just realized that was not what I was passionate about. I was really passionate about social media marketing. And I decided to pursue a career path in that. And I ended up getting a job at the corporate level, managing social media, but still doing freelance in the Western fashion industry in the background.
I love that. Where are you working in the corporate world right now?
I was previously working for a company called All Supps. I'm sure a few of the listeners down here in Texas and New Mexico, especially, have heard of All Supps and the world famous All Supps burrito. I just recently quit that job. And so I've been taking on my freelance full time, deciding if I want to run with that and just really jump all in with that, or if I'd like to pursue another day job opportunity.
I got you. Tell me a little bit about where would you see if you had your dream, what would it be?
Would love to be managing myself long term. That's the end dream, end goal. I would love to really invest in myself and manage myself and be creating content, Western fashion and outdoor full time.
Let's talk about the things that you have done that have
Yeah,
been successful. Yeah.
for sure. So I recently started working with Rock and Roll Denim, which has been really exciting. They've been a bucket list brand collaborator for a long time. And so that's been really exciting to work with them and create content for them. Also, Liberty Black Boots, sweetheart of a team. I love working with them, and their boots are just so gorgeous. And so it's always so fun to create content for them, as well as Old Gringo, too. That's been one recently where I was like, wow, they were like an icon once I got started in this industry like 3 years ago. That was always like, wow, it'd be so great to collaborate with Old Gringo one day. And now I am creating content for them. So that one's also been pretty cool.
So, can you give us kind of an idea? A lot of people that listen to this have no idea where to start if they wanted to get into it. And B, like, what does it look like? Are you making $10 million? Are you making $0? Are you selling anything from what you're doing? Are they seeing a return on investment? Let's talk through that and how that's been for you.
Absolutely. So right now, although I am making money from my collaborations, I still don't have this crazy following like some of these awesome Western influencers have. I'm working on it. I'd love to get there one day. I've been doing this for 3 years and the growth kind of ebbs and flows, but I only have like 6,500 followers, which isn't a ton compared to most, but I'm still making some money to be able to talk about this as well to these girls who are getting started. Like, you don't need to have thousands and thousands of followers to be able to work with brands or even make money from brands. If you're creating quality content, these brands are going to notice that and they're going to realize that it's worth investing in. And so, as far as like my own products, I dabbled a little bit in opening up an Etsy store, and I did have some graphic designs that I was putting on t-shirts and making graphic tees. And I sold a few from those, but I just realized it was really hard to keep up with on top of my day job, on top of creating content, which is what I'm truly passionate about. And so props to all of the small businesses out there. Like you really got to have grit to be able to keep up with that. And so I couldn't, my plate was getting too full with that. But that's really the only avenue I've tried to go down with selling my own products and things like that. I'd love to maybe do something like that on a larger scale down the road.
Yeah, I think it's fun to think about the idea that maybe we could have you teach a class for the boot babes about how to make
Yep.
money with social media, just to give people like an idea. Because Western fashion behind the scenes, we do a lot of transparency, right? So, like, how much, you don't have to answer exactly, but around, is it $300 for a post? Is it $300 for a video? Is it $500 for a video? How does it work for you? If I was going to hire you, how would it work?
Yeah, great questions. And honestly, before I answer, it's so hard to price yourself, right? Because you want to price yourself what you think you're worth and based off of the experience that you have and your time and your equipment and your hair and makeup and all of that plays a factor into it. And I'm going to preface this by saying I probably don't charge enough. So I am not like the standard to go off of. And it is something that I want to rework my media kit soon here coming up in the near future, but as far as, like, per post, so I do set it up where I charge I like to give, like, package deals, so brands can pick and choose what they're feeling. So, for, like, story posts, I charge a certain amount. For a hard feed post, a hard carousel feed post, or, like, a video post, I will say I'm not charging more than $100 for any of that. So if you just wanted and some brands wanna do a story post, a hard feed post, and a video post, and so that would add up. For one singular category, I'm not charging more than $100 right now, but it
No, I
will
love
add up,
this.
you know,
This
if
is
you're getting
super important. This is my favorite thing that
yeah,
you said because this gives people like windows of opportunity. They're like,
a
oh,
benchmark.
so I could tell someone that I could go to my local cowboy boot store and I could say, hey, for $100 a day, I'll come in and do a social media post for you. Like, how hard is that? That's $700 a week
Sure.
if that worked. These are the things where I really am trying to get this to be a more palatable, understandable experience because this is not a celebrity thing. And celebrities aren't even celebrities. They just have a lot of publicity. And that's where you have to create your own publicity and your own attention. And so it sounds like you're doing a great job of that. So are you emailing these brands and saying, hey, my name is the Camo Cowgirl. I want to work with you. Here's why. And you give them like a sheet and they're like, hey, yay. Yes, we want to do that.
Yes. So, yeah, exactly what you said. I'm pitching myself to these different brands. I have had some brands that have reached out to me, but for the most part, where I generate most of my collaborations, it is these brands that I've been following that are within my niche or that they have products that I've purchased from before that I really believe in, authentic brands that I have been engaging with. I will reach out to them with a tailored pitch because I'm not some sort of copy and paste kind of gal. I don't like that. And I'm sure a lot of these brands get hit with the same thing every week. And so I really try and tailor my pitch to each brand and kind of play on the strengths of each brand. And if there's like a certain piece from a brand that I've been eyeballing or I have a really great idea with, I will include that and say, hey, I love this piece that you have. I have a cool idea for it. Would you be open to yada, 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 go on from there. And I will always preface with who I am, what I do. I will include my media kit, which has my social media statistics, some kind of past achievements, top brands I've worked with in the past, so they can get to know me and my brand a little bit more.
So how did you learn to do this?
Honestly, since I didn't get a marketing degree, I had to learn everything for myself. I really just dove in head first. I watched some YouTube videos on how to market yourself. I did pursue some like online classes with social media marketing so I could better understand the industry. But as far as pitching myself, I just dove headfirst into that. But I curated what I wanted to say and I was like, either they're gonna wanna work with me or they're not. And if they don't, that's totally fine. It's maybe they don't have the budget for it or they're not working with influencers right now. Like, I try not to take rejection personally, which I think is a huge aspect of this. If you really wanna do this, you're going to get some doors shut in your face, and that's okay. You're not meant to work with every brand, and every brand is not meant to work with you. So if you can just overcome that rejection and just take it on the chin and move on, you're going to do great. But yeah, I just dove headfirst into pitching myself and putting myself out there.
This comes from your confidence level and you're a hunter. So you're the Camo Cowgirl because you actively promote and talk about hunting and conservation and what it looks like to be an active hunter. So let's talk about that a little bit because that's really where I would say a lot of your confidence comes from. So tell us your background in hunting.
Absolutely. So, yes, just like you said, hunting is a huge part of me. I always grew up like fishing and kind of shooting guns, like planking cans off the fence posts. But I didn't really get into hunting until I was in high school. And so from high school on, so like the last 10 years, I've really gotten involved in hunting. And with that, my dad was in the Air Force for a while. And so we moved all over the country. And so I've had some really cool opportunities to kind of hunt in different places across the country. And so that has even further sparked my love and passion for hunting and just the outdoors and the conservation aspect and just even the camaraderie that comes along with meeting people who are also involved in the outdoor industry.
Where are you from?
I was born in Louisiana, but I only lived there for a year. And to be honest, I've never been back since I was born there. I don't really, I claim Texas. Texas is the longest I've lived anywhere, but I'm not like from a specific place.
Okay, I love that. I'm from the universe. I joke. I've lived everywhere and
Yeah,
lived Preston,
me
Idaho,
too.
but I was lucky I graduated. I lived in the town my whole life, but then I traveled the whole world and realized you are lucky that you got to grow up that way. Where in Texas-ish? Like North Texas, South Texas?
Yeah, North Texas. I'm right outside of Fort Worth, about like 20 minutes south of Fort Worth.
Okay, yeah. I used to live in Pilot Point. I love it down there. I think that's a
Nice.
great area. Are you planning on being there forever?
I think so. Both of my husband and my family are in the DFW area, right outside the DFW areas. We'd like to maybe eventually get a little west of Fort Worth, but yeah, I think we'll probably stay in this area.
I love that. How did you meet?
We actually met in college at a Ducks Unlimited chapter. Our university, Texas Tech, they had Ducks Unlimited, almost like fraternity, sorority type situation. And yeah, we ended up meeting through that, which is ironic since, yeah, it speaks to us and our love story. We're both very connected with the outdoors. And yeah, it's been really cool.
I love that. How long have you been married?
Let's see, a little over a month.
Oh my
We
gosh,
just
I love
recently
that.
got married.
Congratulations. That's exciting. Are you kidding me? Are you going to the
Thank you.
NFR?
I don't think so, which is a bummer. We've been like kicking it around. We did just get done paying for a wedding, and so we're trying to see if our budget would allow for it this year, but unfortunately, we'll probably have to just wait till next year.
Man, okay. We will miss you at the NFR and maybe next year we'll do a big collaboration. I'm trying to figure out how do you get everyone in the same room that does the same thing and how do they help
Mhm.
each other? Because that's really where we're going to see the biggest growth in this industry is when people really start to collaborate that are actually doing it instead of just trying to collaborate with the brand. And so this has been a labor of love for me to figure out who to talk to, how to understand that. So let's talk about what you're working on next. What's coming up for you?
Absolutely. So right now I am in the middle of a really big Christmas photo shoot. I have a venue location rented out. It's going to be really cool. It's cowboy Christmas themed. And so I'll be shooting that in the next week or two. And I'm super excited for that. I have a lot of big brands that are working with me on that. And they'll definitely stay tuned for that content because I'm pretty excited for that. But other than that, I'm it's the end of the year. Nothing really on the horizon for the next month or so of 2023. I was kicking around NFR, like I said. I got invited to do the Rock and Roll Denim influencer party. And so I'm super bummed that I'm going to have to miss that, but hopefully next year. But as far as next year goes, I'm really just hoping to continue growing my platforms. I'm hoping my platforms will, the following will catch up with the content, the quality of content that I'm creating, and just continuing to work with dream brands, just putting that out into the world and speaking that into existence and praying over that. I'm just really excited to continue growing next year.
Yeah, I love that you are all about faith and you express that openly on your platform all the time. Very grateful that you are willing to have that kind of determination and that you're willing to share your vulnerability. Speaking of vulnerability, where did you get your first pair of cowboy boots? Tell us about that.
Oh, yes. I really love this question because I got my first pair of cowboy boots. They're Justin boots, and I got them from the original Justin, Texas store when I was in like middle school. And I still have them and I love them. And although I don't really fit into them anymore, I still keep them for sentimental purposes because, yeah, I wore them to the barn, I wore them to muck stalls, I wore them to ride. And so they're just hold a very special place in my heart.
Then are they brown? What color are they?
Yes, they're brown. They're just like a good old traditional pair of brown boots.
Round-toed Roper Justin boots or Justin boots, right? That's
Yep.
fair. It's fun that you
Yep.
got them from there. Is that still open, that where you got them?
I think so. I think so because when I used to work at my old job, it was like right down the road from Justin, Texas. And so we had a store there that I would go visit sometimes and I would pass it. So I believe it's still open.
Okay, I love that. And I gotta ask you what you're wearing today, who you have on today.
Yes. So this is the hat is American Hat Makers. The blazer is from Platini. And then I'm trying to remember, I got this at the Houston Rodeo a few years ago, this necklace. I believe it's Punchies from Stephenville.
I love that. Okay, well, you have been delightful to have on today. I'm very grateful. If they want to get in touch with you, how do they find you?
So you can shoot me an email. It's just emilyween@gmail.com. Or I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. You can shoot me a DM through any one of those platforms. And I do also have a website that you can check out as well and get into contact with me through there.
Okay, perfect. And if there was someone you look up to and that's your role model, who would that be? And what would you want to tell people that think that maybe you're their role model? Tell me about that.
I think my role model, and I'm going to say two, just because I hold them both in the same regard. I would say Shaylee or West Desperado and Marika. Those 2, I've been following them beginning. They're what got me started in this industry. I have a lot of inspiration from them in my outfits and things like that. I just really admire them. They're both very down to earth, and I feel like they just really embody the true Western lifestyle. And they're never involved in drama. You never hear their names involved in any of the drama, and their content quality is just amazing. So those 2 are definitely my inspiration and role models in this industry.
Love that. And I'm sure there's lots of girls looking at you saying, oh my gosh, you're my inspiration. And hello. It is. It's fun to watch you grow. I've been watching for a long time, almost 2 years. As long as you've been doing it, I've been watching. So it's fun to get to know you. Thanks for being here today.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. It's been great to talk to you.
You're welcome. This is Ashley, the Boot Babe, and we are live on Western Fashion Behind the Scenes. If you loved what you heard today, go and share this podcast with your friends. And remember, it's always time to wear cowboy boots. This episode of Western Fashion Behind the Scenes is brought to you by the Pony Express email from the Boot Babes. Find out about the next retreat, the next adventure, or your opportunity to make money wearing boots. Go to thebootbabes.com today or visit us on social media at The Boot Babe and The Boot Babes. Enjoy! If you loved Western Fashion Behind the Scenes and you know someone who has an incredible Western fashion story, email westernfashionbts@gmail.com. That's westernfashionbts@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.